Mm-hmm. Piece of cake.
See how it lies now that it's out.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's nice and smooth. So I'm good with that one. Cut the needle off somewhere. Somebody gave a patient a pneumothorax with one of these needles. They poked him in the chest with it and their lung collapsed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah.
Can you imagine? What kind of a fucking moron you'd have to be to... I'm sorry.
No,
I understand certain complications in surgery, but that one, that was a little
Dumb.
beyond my imagination.
A couple of years ago, my buddy Jimmy produced the album and wrote one or two songs on the album. It was a gospel sort of, R&B gospel thing. It was really good. She's a great singer. And well, one day, anyway, Jimmy's watching this program on TV about this guy William Dillon, who just got released from prison after 20 some odd years. They had set him up for a murder that he didn't commit.
Wow.
Now, it was interesting. Him and his brother were outside this club, and it was somewhere in Florida, right? And, so he and his brother were sitting in the car getting stoned right in front of this club, and the cops came up, asked him to get out of the car. Now, he's got this joint in his hand, and he's trying to hide it, and he's kind of nervous. So they're asking him questions about where they were the night before.
Uh-huh.
And they said, well, we came to the club, and, we stayed here, and we left late, like 4 o'clock or something, went home. And, he's talking to me while he's stoned, and he's a little freaked out because he's talking to the cops. And he said, well, William, you seem awful nervous. He says, we want you to come down to the station tomorrow and talk to us. He didn't tell him why. So, next day, of course, he doesn't make it because he's stoned all night and he sleeps in. And so they come and they arrest him. They take him to there and they charge him with murder.
Wow.
He goes, what the hell? What are you talking about?
So, I was worried about getting busted for pot. Now you're charging me with murder.
Right. Well, here's the crazy thing. Here's some events that happened, okay? This is nuts. They don't have any suspects on this. What happened, there was a guy who was almost like legally blind, but he was driving. He was just like the limit where you could drive with these, bottle glasses, Coke bottle glasses and stuff.
Right.
He had picked up a hitchhiker, and the guy left a shirt in his car, and the shirt was covered with blood. He finds it the next morning. He goes, "What the hell?" So he brings it to the police station, right? It's in the the area, proximity of where this all took place, this murder. A guy did get killed. Now, the police go, "Oh, we got this bloody t-shirt." Okay. So,
Is it hurting?
just a little, that one was just a little bit of pressure, but that's all right. Actually, I didn't even barely feel it. So they got this bloody t-shirt. They said that, well, this was, they tried to blame this on William, that it was his t-shirt, right? So he said, well, who's the guy in the car? Now remember, this guy's like 50% blind, right? So he said, well, we got this guy that we think might be there was a murder, and we think it's this guy, and it might be his t-shirt, right? So he said, well, they asked the guy what he kind of looked like. And he says, well, I didn't see him too well, but he had short hair, and he was about 5'9". William's 6'3", and had long hair. So they put him in a lineup, but they turned all the lights off except for one stupid little overhead, make William turn sideways and pull his hair up. So the guy can't see that he's got long hair, and he can't see how tall he is. And William says, well, that could have been him.
Oh my God.
So the guy, says, so now they say, well, we have a positive ID on you. Now, they do some other really dumb shit. Oh yeah, well, they got this hard ass, DA, and they got this detective who is a son of a bitch. He wants to try and get some witnesses, so he knows this girl she's single, living, and she's got a kid, right? He walks in on her, and there's some pot on the table. I guess she was a waitress or something at this club, right? And he says that he's going to arrest her and that her child's going to be taken away from her unless she signs this paper saying that this guy that he's got in custody, William, that she saw him dragging a body into the bushes.
Wow.
A totally fabricated story, right, Tom?
Wow.
But he says if she doesn't sign it, and of course he forces her to have sex with him, and he's fighting, to save his own self, and
Right.
now in prison after a few years, he gets them to start a music program there, and he gets a guitar, and half an hour a week, this was the music program, he could go into this room and play guitar. So the years go by. Finally, like 20 years later, a guy says, William, did you ever think of having, a retrial based on the evidence, on DNA testing? He says, no, I didn't know about that. So he studied into it, right? So he writes a letter there's a group there in Florida I forgot what they call it, the Freedom Group or something. They're all about getting people that have been unjustly convicted to get DNA testing, right?
Right.
You're going to love this. So they get a hearing finally. It was just a DNA hearing. They go to court, the same courthouse, and of course, who's sitting there but this same DA, and this little woman who's the stenographer, right? So they go to court and they say, well, we want to retest for DNA testing the shirt that was supposedly, that had William's blood on it, right?